So, in California, there's this huge battle brewing that could honestly reshape the entire state's economy. It's got a powerful union on one side and some of the richest people in the world on the other, with the governor stuck right in the middle. Let's get into it and break down what is going on.
It really all comes down to this one single question. I mean, what on earth could make billionaires pack up their incredible mansions and move their entire companies out of a place like California? Well, the short answer is a potentially massive tax bill.
And listen, this is not just a rumor. We are talking about some of the biggest names in tech. The people who literally built Silicon Valley. We're talking about folks like Google's Larry Page and Sergey Brin, Oracle's Larry Ellison, and the venture capitalist Peter Thiel.
And they're not exactly being subtle about it. Businesses are being moved out of state. These huge, sprawling mansions are being sold for tens of millions of dollars. And new properties are being bought up in places like Miami. It's a very real, very public migration of money.
Okay, so what is causing all of this? Let's get right to the heart of the matter. This whole situation revolves around one single, very controversial idea: a state-level wealth tax. So what is this thing exactly? Well, it's a proposed one-time tax on the total net worth of California's richest people. And just to be clear, this isn't a tax on what you earn or what you sell. It's a tax on everything you own: stocks, real estate, art collections, the whole shebang. And the proposed rate, it's pretty staggering: 5%. Now, 5% might not sound like a huge number, but when you're talking about fortunes that are in the tens or even hundreds of billions of dollars, a 5% tax is an absolutely astronomical amount of money. So who would actually have to pay this? Well, the tax is specifically designed to target only people with a net worth of over $1 billion. It's a measure aimed squarely at the super rich. The timeline here is what makes this so urgent for everyone involved. The key date to watch is January 1st, 2026. The tax would apply to anyone who is a California resident on that specific day. And with a potential vote just a few months after that, well, the clock is already ticking for anyone who's thinking about making a move. So who's behind this? The main driving force is the Service Employees International Union, United Healthcare Workers West. Their argument is that this money is desperately needed to fund public services and to tackle the huge inequality problem in the state. Now, the reaction to this idea has been fast, it's been powerful, and frankly, it's coming from a place you might not expect: the very top of California's state government. Just listen to this direct quote from Governor Gavin Newsom. It is incredibly blunt. He's not seeing this billionaire exodus as some far-off possibility. For him, it's a reality. And it's confirming his absolute worst fears about this tax. He's on the record calling the whole thing bad economics and really damaging to the state. His worry isn't just about losing some tax dollars today, but about the long-term damage it could do to investment and innovation in California. But his position is a little more nuanced than it might first appear. Governor Newsom actually supports a progressive tax system where people who earn more pay more. But he draws a very hard line when it comes to this specific kind of state-level wealth tax. So, why is he so against this one type of tax? His whole argument boils down to one word: competition. The way he sees it, states are constantly fighting for businesses and talent. And he argues that one state just can't create a massive, one-of-a-kind tax without expecting its wealthiest citizens to just pack up and move to one of the other 49 states. So all of this is setting the stage for a really, really high-stakes future. This is way more than just a fight over a ballot measure. It's a test of California's whole economic strategy and, really, its political identity.
All right, let's just do a quick recap of the main players here. You've got the SEIU-UHW pushing this thing forward. You've got the billionaires who are already voting with their feet and their companies. And then you have Governor Newsom, who is a very powerful opponent, publicly saying he thinks this thing will fail.
But here's the most important thing to remember in all of this: none of it is set in stone. This wealth tax is still just a proposal. It hasn't even officially made it onto the ballot yet. So all of this drama, all this economic and political maneuvering, it's happening in anticipation of a fight that hasn't even officially started. And that leaves us with a big fundamental question at the center of this whole thing. And it's not just a question for California, but for any government that's watching this play out. Can a state put a huge tax on its wealthiest, most mobile citizens without just making them leave? It's a multi-billion-dollar question, and California might be about to find out the answer.